Bobby Brink, congratulations. You are Minnesota Wild and David Jiricek, noted Alan Walsh client, going to the Philadelphia Flyers in exchange. There's a lot going on with this trade. Let's start with the Minnesota Wild. I call him Big Balls Bill for a reason. He's laying it on the line. Bobby Brink, 24 years old, and I think probably not as well known around the NHL as he is in Philadelphia, but with a name like Bobby Brink, that screamed Philly.
Bobby Brink.
He's had a pretty good year. 13 goals, 13 assists in 55 games. Not bad. So some depth wing.
Do Americans know what Body Break is?
No, they have no idea.
They should.
They don't.
They should. Google Body Break.
No, it's only a Canadian thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So to all
Canadians love that joke.
The Canadians here like that.
Bobby Brink does sound like Body Break. It is a thing.
Bobby
You have
Brink,
to do that every time you mention his name.
Bobby Brink from Minnetonka, Minnesota. So he's going home.
Awesome.
He's 5'8", 169 pounds, baby.
He's a wee man, but you got to play with a little bit of hate if you're that size, and it hasn't held him back. 26 points in 55 games.
Yeah. So then, so I want to talk first about where the heck he fits in Minnesota's lineup, because I don't know that it's immediately easy to pick that out. Like I'm looking at the we'll get to your check in a second here, but I'm looking at the Minnesota depth pieces. He could be, he slots in maybe right wing because Foligno's not been healthy recently on the third line. You put him next to Urov, who I thought once they acquire Trocheck or whatever center they're going to get, because I think it's pretty clear they're going to get another center. Urov's been 38% in the faceoff dot this year. To me, it made sense to move him to the right.
If you get a big name center, it might cost you Urov. And I've been staying with that. But we were just talking before the video, producer Hayden saying the Russian line of Trenin Urov and, it says Brink now. He's not Russian, but Tarasenko have been very consistent for them. I guess it gives them a little bit of versatility. It gives them a little bit more depth.
Allows them to move Tarasenko up.
Yeah, like very, very often when you see teams with a lot of high-end talent, you're like, great, 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 good, good, great, guy. Right. And I just don't really see that on Minnesota anymore. Like Hinostroza is a really useful little player. Sturm's a really useful little player. McCarron, you just paid the sun and the moon for him. God, they're deep. They're deep at every position.
They are.
Except, center is... Depth is in the eye of the beholder. They have a lot of guys, but do they have enough skill there?
I fantasize, Jesse, about a line of Trenin, Hartman, and Brink, but that relies on Bill Guerin getting another center. But that would be a mean line. And I think, Jess, when you consider what Minnesota, Colorado, and Dallas all have to do, which is play each other, right? This is Bill Guerin ratcheting it up again for the Avs and the Stars. I don't know really what the Stars can get done at this deadline. They great trade for Myers yesterday, Jesse, but they're kind of a perfect lineup. You're going to have to, if you're Minnesota, basically be such a pain in the ass that you get through a series, right?
Oh, totally. And like with the Bobby Brink acquisition, I like it because it's not just a rental. You're moving off Jiricek, who's going to be an RFA at the end of the season, for somebody that's going to be more useful to your lineup, who's also an RFA at the end of this season. So the thing that Minnesota lacks is their depth scoring. I think that's we can all point to, hey, they need more depth scoring. You're banking on Bobby Brink becoming that and locking him up to something reasonable here this offseason, and then him growing into position where you don't look so weak in your forward group outside of Kaprizov in terms of putting the puck in the back of the net.
To give you an idea of how likely this matchup is, Minnesota has 82 points, Dallas is 85, Colorado's all the way at 91. It seems like the best Minnesota can do with the rest of their season is achieve home ice in the first round.
Right.
That's
all you can do.
And just play as well as possible, be as connected as possible heading into the playoffs. It seems like the best you can hope for in that ridiculous division.
When Quentin Hughes was at his best in Vancouver, the rumors were that he had a great relationship with Adam Foote and a great relationship with head coach Rick Tocchet. David Jiricek, highly drafted pick. He's now been traded twice.
Sixth overall.
Columbus, Minnesota, and now Philadelphia. And he's going to go and play under Rick Tocchet. Jess, do you think that'll be good for his development? I also wonder if this Jiricek thing means that Rasmus Ristolainen thing might be close. You know, they're going to have to get younger, and he's a big guy. And I don't know if it's reclamation project territory, but it might be opportunity territory.
I always kind of wonder about Briere and what he's doing with the Flyers. Like I feel like they're doing a lot of good stuff, but they've been so middling for a while now that okay, you're gonna bring in Jiricek. This better be another hit for you. This better be a hit for you because you haven't had many lately. You know, like you've struggled to really get that high-end talent and those players who are going to usher you into out of the middle pack of the East, or the out of the playoffs middle part of the East. That's the part I'm referring to, not the actual middle where you're actually in the wild card spots, just out of the playoffs there. So he's banking on this is going to be a better project than Bobby Brink.
Okay.
You know, that's what I think Briere's thinking with this deal.
And it opens up a spot, as you see there, for Nikita Grabenkin to play a little bit more regularly.
Always going to cheer for him.
Hayden said before, this means that we won't get a Barkey, Bonk, and Brink line, which is a bummer.
So crap. I wanted the Brink, Bonk, Bark line. That sucks. Hey, speaking of sucks.
Okay, yeah, I want you to go through this because Steve's going to trade us, Jesse, right now. With David Jiricek, and this is not going to make Big Balls Bill look all that great.
No, and this was a Big Balls Bill trade.
Yes,
Brink, Bonk, Bark, last year, but has not gone well at all. And you could look at this trade for Brink as him cutting his losses. That's very glass half full. Let me make it glass half empty. So the way Minnesota got David Jiricek, the trade was David Jiricek in a 2025 fifth to the Minnesota Wild, to the Columbus Blue Jackets, Damon Hunt, a 2025 first that was Pyotr Andrianov, who is a goaltender, a third in 2026, a fourth round pick, I believe that was also in 2026, and a second in 2027. That is an enormous price for a guy you just traded for a roughly half a point a game 24-year-old.
But, you know, Jesse, Steve, when I look at the lineup, where's David Jiricek going to play?
Well, Adam, glad you asked. He played 11 minutes and 43 seconds per game.
Because you've got Hughes, Faber, Broding, Spurgeon, and Middleton, and Bogosian.
I totally agree that he's no longer a fit for this lineup, but wowzers! I guess this is just an example that you don't have a crystal ball. You know, you don't know that the Vancouver Canucks are going to completely suck, and you don't know that they're going to sell, and you don't know that if Quinn Hughes becomes available, you're going to be the team that's going to be able to sweep in and do it.
Right. Jiricek didn't make any more sense in Minnesota. He wasn't going to crack that lineup. He wasn't going to be an important piece for their playoff run, which is the only thing that matters right now and the only thing that matters to Bill Guerin. So I might as well use this asset to go get something that's going to be helpful. And then in Philly, this better be the precursor to a Rasmus Ristolainen move. Like, you better have that in the hopper to go make some room in the lineup for Jiricek to actually develop, because he's going to be useful to them, and he wasn't in Minnesota.
Hughes and Faber are the future of the Minnesota Wild blue line. And by the way, Jack Hughes 26, Brock Faber 23, isn't it?
Quinn Hughes.
Sorry, Quinn Hughes.
Sorry, that's next trade deadline.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't life unfair? I hate it. Also, I want to mention this one, guys, because it is worth mentioning, but was not worth its original thing for its own video. Jeff Petry is a Minnesota Wild player. And
that's right.
He was traded last night, and I thought, hey, we didn't do a video for him, but let's talk a little bit about that Jeff Petry trade. It's a 7th round pick going to the Florida Panthers. The pick becomes a 2026 5th round pick.
Holy hot damn!
If Minnesota wins 2 playoff rounds and Petry plays in 50% or more of those Wild playoff games during the first 2 rounds.
You know what's funny, man? I was about to talk about his bomb of a shot. He has no goals in 58 games.
But he did have a bomb of a shot.
Maybe he still does. He just doesn't use it. 38. You know what? Why the hell not? That's a no price.
I heard just through being a Minnesota fan that the deal for Petry was Bill Zito doing right by Petry to get him more like another shot at a cup before his career's over.
Which
that's
sucks,
why
'cause that's probably why he signed in Florida.
Which is why it's a 7th round pick with conditions. It's just like, let's get this guy a chance at the playoffs.
No, and that's good business. That's good business for all involved. Yep.
Well, your friends. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, what did Minnesota give up?
Yeah,
Who cares?
nothing.
Sure. It's good business if you're Jeff Petry and Bill Zito and Bill Guerin.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but I think there's value in doing that for, we keep going, dude, why does everyone sign in Florida?
Yeah.
And obviously there's the sunshine, the tax, and
the
also
winning.
the GM will do this kind of thing.
Yes, no, I'm just making fun, but he is paying it forward. It's
Yeah.
like this will come back to me in the relationship with the agent, Wade Arnott, or whoever, like other player who wants to sign in Florida. They know they do right by players.
Too long didn't read. They didn't need to do this.
He's played 1,039 games in the NHL, had a very impressive career, almost 400 points. But only 48 games in the playoffs, including a 20-game run with the Canadiens when they went to the finals. Just one more shot. And they have put him in to, if Jeff Petry plays in any of these games, 2 or 3, whatever series it ends up being, probably Dallas, Minnesota in the first round, and then probably Colorado and one of those 2 in the second round. That will be a red-hot division to watch. So best of luck to Brink and Petry in Minnesota. And SDPN's trade deadline coverage continues. Every time there's a trade, we do a video, yes, including Jeff Petry. And we got our live stream today at 5 o'clock.
And when you record your new episode of Agent Provocateur, I imagine there will be some Jiricek content.
That's right. Jiricek and David Perron last night. So it's a big Allen day.